يعني طلعت عينه طبعا، طلعت عينهم كلهم. أنا سارة خطاب، luxury brand consultant and business development consultant. احنا كنا لسه بيبيز صغيرين. We decided and I got introduced to Mo specifically by one of the partners at the time. وساعتها كنت لسه بشوف marketing agencies تانية اللي هو I go through 3 or 4 to see which one will do it better. واستريحت نفسيا يعني at the end كان working with Mo directly حتى كمان. يعني طلعت عينه طبعا، طلعت عينهم كلهم. I'm very demanding. فيعني every detail he's on call 24/7. يعني الساعة 2 بالليل واحنا محتاجين دي تخلص بكرة الصبح، خلاص اوكي ده done. We have a very short notice for launching a campaign. طب خلاص let's work on it. I never felt any resistance and the relationship was it wasn't just a client relationship. No, it was more than that. It was like they were part of the growing period of the brand itself. فاهمة؟ يعني هما they were taking the brand into as it's their own brand. فاهمة؟ I'm not just a client. فدي كانت مريحاني قوي لأن هو الشغل بتاعهم كان into building something that they believe in. And this was the most important. I'm not just a client that's paying money وخلاص. لا, it wasn't like that. This is why I continued after 6 سنين. كان مكتب حق كده صغنطت. ما كانش بيسمنت قوي، كان يعني سيمي بيسمنت. كنا بنقعد في المكتب عندك لغاية بالليل متأخر، 1 2. مكتب قد كده، وكنت انت قاعد في مكتب كده كان صغير عليك قوي. كان ميتنج روم اصلا مش مكتب على ما اتذكر. انا فاكره ان هو ما كانش بيسمنت، كان سيمي بيسمنت. وفضلت في المكتب ده 2 سنين على ما اظن قبل ما نقلت المكتب تاني. I've seen the difference and يعني the changes that happened over the years. and انت I've been your client overall the 6 years. 6 سنين. We went from المكتب الحق الصغير ده السيمي بيسمنت up to a way bigger office with more employees 2 years later, and now it's a way bigger office with a lot more employees and a lot more premium clients. كنا واخدين ساعتها luxury brands بنفتحها في مصر، منهم جوزيبي زانوتي، وكان ده اللانشنج تايم بتاعها يعني. وكنا بنعمل مالتي براند ستور، وانت you handled the whole concept from A to Z. I started me and Mo managed CR7. That was the first brand that we worked on together, and then we moved on to Giuseppe Zanotti, and then we moved on to creating a multi-brand luxury store, which was Azures. And the full concept, of course, and for me it was like the multi-brand, and this is what the one that I wanted as a luxury brand. And then Mo came back to me with the full concept of the brand, with the name, how the store is going to look like, everything, because it was a local, it's not something that we brought along. Azures had a lot of I think at the time it had 31 brands, different brands. Roberto Cavalli, Baller, it had Giuseppe Zanotti, it had Todd's, it had Stella McCartney. It had a lot of other brands, Aquazzura, Gian Vito Rossi, and it was mainly at the time it was shoes and bags and accessories. Now it grew into more ready to wear. And then we took that concept into different locations, and then we moved on from there into the real estate part, which is my original part. And we worked together on several projects for the real estate, and we're still working together. I'm OCD, okay? From the first meeting, when we saw Aslan, we were creating the branding for the company itself, not just the brand, okay? From the first meeting, when he showed me the samples of the business cards and the letterheads and the envelopes and that, I was sold. يعني أنا بالنسبة لي it was very neat, it was very luxurious, and it's something that we have to deal with. Luxury equals luxury. I can't have a luxury brand and have you know, the business cards or even the shopping bags or anything else that's below the level. يعني we have specific specs. They understood the specs perfectly from day one. خلاص يعني ما تعبتش نفسي قوي ان انا كل اللي انا عملته ان انا I showed them the sample of what we need to be done and it was ready. It wasn't hectic. It wasn't like a hectic job that I had to every time explain exactly what I want. أول حاجة honestly هتبقى إن أنا خلاص I'm at ease and I don't have to explain myself over and over again and I don't have to explain what I want. خلاص أنت you could read my mind. يعني when I come to you and say, hey Mo, I want to do a campaign or I want to start this brand, this company, خلاص I'm at ease. I don't have to explain, you know what I want. فدي gives me a huge benefit to work with you guys. يعني علشان أنا بالنسبة لي I'm cutting a long way very short. The creativity that comes from Longe Black, the whole team get together, and it's always the whole team. It used to be just Mo in the beginning, but now through over the years, I've seen different faces, and they're all creative in their own way. Without mentioning any names, each one of them, they have their own creative way of implementing something into the project that we're working on. And of course Mo now oversees everything and not like before, بس يعني يلا ربنا يسهل له. ما عنديش اختيارات اصلا، ما فيش اختيارات. هي it's only they're the only one in the field who actually do that. يعني when I think about branding a luxury brand or bringing a new brand that I want to create to making it into a luxury brand, I don't see anybody else in the market that actually can do this other than Longe Black. First of all, personally, they understand what I want. They understand the clients that I have or my partners, and they get to the point. يعني إحنا we don't have to waste time in 4, 5, 6 pitches to come up with something. It's always usually from the first pitch we settle on something. To me, this has always been a very easy process for me علشان it's not hectic. I'm not wasting my time. It's always Longe Black. And they know how to switch faces to different industries. يعني whether it's the luxury brands, whether it's the real estate, whether it's the F&B, they know how to change their faces according to what industry they're working in. فده أنا بالنسبة لي عيال حورتجية شوية، عارفين يدخلوا لده منين أو إزاي ولده منين وإزاي، and mission accomplished overall. ده اللي بالنسبة لي. And this is part لأن أنا I worked with them with the brands and I worked with them on originally real estate background. فأنا بالنسبة لي the real estate part is the major part of my life. فهو يعني Mo worked with me on several projects for real estate. فده بالنسبة لي برضو at the end of the day, again I worked the real estate part on the luxury side. فده بالنسبة لي ريحني كتير. خلاص احنا we understand each other. he understand what I want before I say it. يعني أنا مش لازم بقى أقعد explain what I want. there is an understanding that makes the client feel at ease إن he doesn't have to go all the way out of his way to explain what they need. يعني اللي كلمه لنا علشان يدينا سعر حلو، كلمه لنا علشان ياخد البروجكت بتاعنا. فاللي تاني نرجع لزمان احنا كنا بنتكلم في مكتب قد كده اللي bring me clients to now clients are coming and you're rejecting them. فيعني and it happened. You had a client before that you rejected because you weren't believing in the brand. That person called me and told me, do you know him? I said yes. They're like, can you call him? And I was like, actually, before even calling him, I know he's not going to work with your brand. Let's cut it short. لا 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 انا شفت سمان يعني انا I want to say سمان because he was the closest one that I work with. لا I've seen the changes يعني from being skinny to fat to skinny to fat and from being small to big to bigger to bigger فيعني it's a different my problem is always like I said attention to details. Mo saved me a lot of time when it comes to presenting different options for different projects. It comes to the point where if he's giving me 5 options, all 5 are great, I just have to pick one. خلاص we're not going to say لا ال5 دول لا and we have to find another. لا, it's always one out of the options that always comes out. That saves me time, saves me hassle, I focus on something else. He takes that part away from me فاهمة يعني بحس ان انا I'm at ease و I'm more flexible to doing something else. وبعدين انا مثلا ساعات كتير قوي من projects اقول له لا انا عاوزاها كذا يعني انا this is how I want this project to be done or this is the way it looks. لا maybe we should do it this way instead of this way. Then when he presents it I see his point of view. Sometimes برضو because he deals with other projects in the same field he has a bigger eye than me. I see it the way I want to do it, but when he comes back with the feedback, لا, it's doable his way, not my way. First in the Middle East, and I don't think you're far off. يعني I honestly don't think. I think you should just be branching outside of Egypt, and then you're on your way. Definitely, I see it. You know, I mean, I've worked with a lot of multinational agencies in the past 21 years, and no difference, honestly. But and I see it, and I see it growing, and I see it growing. Sometimes they tell you when you grow too fast, it's scary. But in their case, it's not scary. They're growing fast, علشان they're taking over the market. It's their time, and hopefully they continue like this. Chanel, it's my favorite brand, but apart from my favorite brand, Chanel has always been a very distinctive brand other than the other brands. Of course, there's also Hermes and everything else, but Chanel has its own face of luxury, you know? It's way before Hermes was popular, it was always Chanel. Chanel, and it grows and it's growing and it's getting more expensive. Of course, when I mean by expensive, we used to pay a different rate and now we're paying a different, totally different rate. Yeah, he's growing like Chanel. Make the fees to your old clients a little bit less. That would be great. علشان إيه كده هنبقى كتير قوي. It's a lot of fees, but it's okay. But priority goes to your long existing clients. But like I wish them all the best, and I wish the next 7 years we'll be doing this interview, maybe somewhere in Dubai or Saudi, taking over the Middle East. Hopefully, that's what I wish for them, definitely. حصلت كتير يعني, and some of the companies I have to sometimes ان انا I have to take the quotation from 3 or 4 different companies علشان understand what's the difference. But at the end of the day أنا quality for me is better than يعني at least I want to do something more that has quality than the price itself. طبعا the price plays a big part because it's the budget. But يعني that's why I'm saying all the existing clients should have different rates than the new clients. But since we've been together throughout the growing period of Longe Black. لا احنا we started off بلاش اقول الريتس اللي احنا we started off from 6 years. يعني ماشي ما بنكبر واحنا بنكبر برضو, بس يعني at the end of the day it's and I see the difference. You deserve it totally. I feel like you guys deserve it طبعا because you're not less than any multinationals existing. But at the end of the day, sometimes it's just a budget. بس يعني we tweak it together somehow. Loyalty card discount for the existing customers, please. Yes, you deserve it. من 30K to يعني budget. ماشي انا موافقه لو ده the case. Oh my god, Longe Black is the best in the world. فاكرة ده كان السنة اللي فاتت when we were sitting in the big meeting, Nadine was there and we were coming up with the names for the project. Okay, so there was a certain name that we all disagreed on, especially me. And I disagreed first of all with the other partners, and then you insisted on that name specifically, and you came back with two different names that we saw that this name actually fits more. We did like a survey internally, and everybody preferred the name that you came up with other than the name we were coming up with. I'm a joker. لا طبعا real estate is the main. 21 years in this field, inside and outside of Egypt. I like developing new projects. يعني I've had the luxury in the past 7-8 years and I've started creating, you know, companies and developing new projects that exist in Egypt and outside of Egypt. This is actually what I love doing now. طبعا I started off my career as a broker and sales and all that, and then until I moved all the way up. So this is basically what I do, and I have a passion for luxury brands, and it's always been something that I love, but now it's something that I love that I bring to the market. So it's becoming يعني more of a hobby with a slash of I don't call it work though, no, because it's not work for me. It's more of my desire to do something better. As we know, Egypt doesn't have that many, and to bring something, whether it's F&B or clothing, it's something that the market needs, definitely. آخر حاجة is Mansouri. Mansouri for the first time in Egypt. And we all know, hopefully we all know what Mansouri is. It's the biggest modifier car luxury in the world. You get 1 out of 5, 1 out of 1, and it's hopefully will be opening in a month or 2. هقولها ما تتعبيش نفسك اصلا و go through the hassle, just go and tell him what you want and then they'll create it for you. لا انا I think ان احنا في مصر احنا we're moving towards not necessarily luxury as in luxury, بس more decent. You know, you're not looking at the قهوة اللي في الشارع anymore. لا, you have the concept of the قهوة, but it's more luxurious in another way. And again, I'm not saying luxury, but I'm saying luxurious عن القهوة. يعني we have a lot of local F&Bs, nightlife. طبعا يكتسحوا السين في مصر. يعني عندك أيمن بكي مثلا, for example. يعني for me, he is the only one in Egypt that actually made nightlife and food a more pleasant experience for people who travel a lot abroad and they see the difference outside than inside. So when you come to Egypt, this is what you want. And at the same time, he gives it a twist. Honestly, I want to retire. يعني that's first of all. مش هقعد استنى كل ده. لا بس yeah, definitely yes. Yes, I would like to see you in other projects that we will be working on outside of Egypt. So يعني hopefully that phase by that time, and then to you expand outside of Egypt, because you actually deserve, and the market is hungry for the creativity, the luxury, everything all put together. I didn't think in Longe Black هتبقى بالكبر ده in this period. I saw the potential وكان بالنسبه لي دايما بقول if they don't make it big او Mo doesn't make it big يعني هيبقى حرام، لان this is something again this is from the past experience that I dealt with other agencies throughout the years. ف يعني to me it was I saw it growing and all of a sudden the growth just happened in like for me it happened in 3 years يعني not the 6-year period. The growth went tremendously in 3 years. Every time I see a billboard for a project that they're doing or a campaign that they did, to me it's always they're making it and they're growing. It's always a good sign. I would say direction white because of the tremendous campaign that happened and the looks of it at the end of the day. But I would say that's one of the projects that probably I was thinking, I was like, why am I not on that project? But yeah, direction white, you guys did a great job on it. And I think that's one of the projects that brought out Longe Black very big. Because you took it over from the beginning to every single detail, from the pricing into the branding into everything. فلا it came out يعني I would say great job on that. أكوازورا، ستيلا ماكارتني، جون فيتو روسي، روبرتو كافالي، تودز، Giuseppe Zanotti, Baller, Mac and Mac. There were so many brands that we worked on. La Sella, there were 30 brands. There were a lot, and this was like 6 years ago.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, and good luck.